Hey, what's up guys? We're back. In the last video we showed off the color. Got a little preview of that after it was finished being painted. Now I have the car back in the garage and I'm trying to be good about just getting some updates and video of the process of reassembling it instead of just putting out a video that just shows here it is, all done. So the car is in the garage and I'm starting to do a few things. Let's take a look at what she looks like now. All right, so I'm still waiting on the fender to get it back from the painter. Had some pinholes in it that for some reason we couldn't figure out what happened there. So he's refinishing that fender on its own and along with the sunroof glass. But everything else is fine on the car. Turned out good, so we got lucky with that, which is awesome. And let's see, one thing I had to do is I went ahead and put back in the rear taillights. So I put in the rear taillights, and then the rear taillights are actually brand new from Rock Auto, but they're the original equipment, Magna, Melli, whatever you want to call it. So they're OE BMW, which is good. They were a little pricey. I did not get the inner trunk lights, and then I reused mine, but after painting they were pretty yellow, so I did not reuse them as is. So I had posted on my Instagram that I sanded these things down, and after I sanded them down I used 600 grit, I used 2000 grit, wet sanding, and then I clear coated them. So they look really good now. The only difference now is that they're older than the new ones, so the new taillights are really red and these are faded a little bit. So I will be getting new trunk lights, but at least the reverse light doesn't look terribly yellow like it did before. It was very yellow and ugly. But at least they are glossy now, along with the outers, and that came out well. So I felt like they were worthy enough to put on there. I ordered a new trunk badge from FCP Euro. That's coming in. I have the old one, but it's just really ugly. The chrome is chipping on it. I did not want to put that back on here. Now the front ones I can still use, which is fine. Let's see here. So today I'm going to work on getting the drip rails reinstalled. And then I'll put back. So I also ordered a bunch of parts from FCP Euro to repair the rear wiper nozzle. There was a hose coupler that was broken on the inside. It had dry rotted. So I went ahead and went to Real OEM and ordered a whole bunch of different parts in here, like some couplers and lines and stuff to repair that, and a new nozzle here. That'll come along with the badge that I ordered. And I do have the taillight, the clear taillight, to put back in here. So I won't be working on this today because I don't want to take it off twice. But yeah, let's take a look at the drip rails. So the drip rails were a pain in the butt. So here they are paint matched. We'll see them on the car. Painter did a really good job. For this though, you know, usually these drip rails, they have these rubber seals on both sides. Most people get these with the seals already on them, and then when you get them painted, painters usually like tape them off. But I pulled them off because I had new ones from BMW, and reinstalling them is such a pain in the butt. So I worked on that over the course of 2 days, just trying to be careful. So I got them reinstalled, and these things are ready to go. I got all the clips back in them. So that's going to look good on there. So I'll go ahead and get that reinstalled and we'll be back. All right, not too bad. Let's go take a look. All right, so drip rail is installed. Nice and even. I try to make sure that it lines up nice with the roof line, and that it lines up here. I could probably push it back just a little bit from the front, just depending on what angle you go at. I like that. So that looks really good. And the front comes here and hides underneath this molding right here. Same thing over here. Try to get that nice and flush. Get it lined up. Dust and dirt on here. That looks good. All right, so drip rails are done. Next thing I'll probably work on is probably getting these exterior door gloss trim pieces back. I'm just kind of working little pieces, and then I'll come back and do an update, show something installed. Maybe I'll install, if it's pretty intricate, then I'll show a video of that. But the main thing is I just want to get this thing back together as quickly and cleanly as possible. All right, so the next thing I decided I'm going to do is door handles. I'd like to put the door handles back on, but I'm using the original door handle gaskets, and they're fine. They're just a little old, they're a little stiff, they're not very pliable, but they're dirty. And I don't want to put dirty gaskets or crusty gaskets back on the car with fresh paint, or on both sides, because with the door handle that's freshly painted will also get marred up from the crust, and then the door also. And even though you can't see it, I know it's there and it'll bother me. So one thing I'm doing is this. So I'm taking these, I poured in boiling water. They've been sitting for a bit, so it's a little bit more pliable. Look at all that dirt that's on them. It's just falling off. So I got a brush right here and some Dawn soap, and I'm going to just do a little scrubbing and get it cleaned up. Okay, so the gaskets are clean. They're gonna let them dry a little bit. Let's take a look at them. So you can take a look. The sunlight's hitting them. Nice clean gaskets. Hot water and Dawn soap really helped them out. And they got some of their bend back. That was good. Alright, so the next thing, I'm going to let these dry and then get started on the door handle. So I'll go grab those from the basement and we'll be back. Alright, little update here. Got the gaskets on the doors installed. Got the door handles installed with the door handle end caps. Was just trying to be super careful with the paint, making sure I didn't drop door handles or scratch the paint on the door handles or anything like that. So yeah, let's take a look here. Alright, so we have door handles. Door handles here, got the keyhole. Gaskets are nice and clean. Get this thing closed. And there we go, right there. And another one right there. Alright, so happy. Small progress there. I think next, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to jump onto next. I really need to get the interior back together. But I also need to get the side skirts on. I need to get the mirrors reassembled and put back on. I need to do all of the gloss exterior trim, get that back on. So I think for now, I'm going to work on the exterior trim because I can't put the inside back together until I get the exterior trim put in, because there's screws from the inside that get covered up by interior trim pieces. So that's what I'll do next. So we got here. We're going to do these pieces last. I have all new clips. So you can see there's holes right here. I took out all the old clips. They're all along here. I got a bunch of new ones from BMW. So I'll go ahead and get those clips installed last with the long trim that goes all the way across. But right now I want to concentrate on getting these put back on, these put back on, and these right here on both sides. Alright, so change of plans. Instead of doing the trim, the exterior trim, I'm gonna go and get these mirrors put back together, just because why not? So let's take a look here. Alright, so I got everything laid out here. I got the freshly painted mirror bases, the mirror caps, all of the internals, glass, hardware, random Torx screwdrivers to do that, and I'll need to do a repair because I remember when I pulled this apart, the heater element for the glass connector had broken off, but I had some extra harnesses in a box, so I just clipped the spare one off, and I'm gonna solder that one back on and with the heat shrink. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these put back together as full assembly so I can go ahead and bolt them onto the car. I think that'll really look good. Alright, here we are. Mirrors fully assembled, ready to go. So we're ready to bolt them back on the car, but they look pretty good. It's crazy how in the video they look more blue than they do in person. In person it's much more dark and muted, and on the video it looks a lot more lighter blue. So anyways, here they are. I'll go ahead and get them mounted on the car, and then I'll get started on working on the exterior trim. But I'm glad to go ahead and get this done and out of the way. Don't have to worry about it. A little bit more update of progress on the Wagon. I think yesterday I got the mirrors assembled and was going to install them, and I installed the driver's side. And then of course I got a little ADD, got sidetracked, and just started working on random things. And I decided to go ahead and get the trim done. So I went ahead and installed all the pillar trim and the door trim and the rain gutter trim, and then the other mirror as well, and then also the door seals. So that took a better part of the day yesterday and today, just trying to be careful and not rush it and pinch seals where they shouldn't be, or you have to be careful with the trim because you can bend it and it's old and used. I didn't buy it brand new, but let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so as you can see, we have the factory gloss trim. Redirect here. All right, there we go. So we got the black gloss factory from M-Tech M Sport from Europe. It's got this piece right here, this piece right here, this piece, this piece, this piece, this one, this one, this one, and of course, you have the piece that goes around the curve, and then it's actually two parts. It snaps together here, it goes all the way down to there, and we got the mirror and the base plate on too. So we'll take a look here. Looks pretty good. Car is starting to come together. I love that the trim really sets off this color. I think I'll have to take a look at the seal. I need to fix that. Just need to bend over. So, but yeah, this is looking really good. I mean, the trim is not perfect. It definitely can use a polish, and I'll get that done later when I get paint correction and buff and polish on the car. I'll have them do the trim. But for the most part, the trim is in pretty good condition. It was a little hard to install. Had to use a block of wood and microfiber towel and a rubber mallet to knock some pieces in. I went ahead and took this piece off because I don't like right now when it was on that it keeps, all Tourings have this problem where when you open this piece like that, when you have the spoiler on, it hits here. And of course it just got painted, so it put a line that I was able to buff out, but I took it off until I can figure out how to get this nice and tight and clearanced right so that it doesn't interfere with this, because I don't want to damage the new paint. I'll pull this out. All right, come over here to this side. Got this trim done. Let's reset the angle. So it looks really good. I'm liking the premium feel it gives on the car. Just step back here. That looks good. Got the mirrors installed. Looks like I need to address this seal right here too. Looks like it's bent out, so I'll address that. So the next thing I'll probably work on is, well, I already did the door seals and the door handles. So I got the door seals in. I'll probably go ahead and finish up putting up on the door panels, getting all the interior pieces put back in so the interior is a little bit put back together. I need to clean everything off, get all the dust and get the seats cleaned up. And some of the fabric fell off of that pillar over there, so I need to reattach that or get a new one. And it's going to take me a little bit of time to get all these panels put back in. The next thing I want to work on after that is getting this strut bar changed out. I got a new strut bar that I'll show in another video to replace this one. I like this one, but I got one to match the same one that's in this car, which is the BMW Performance carbon fiber strut bar. Got a really good deal. I think I picked it up for like $800, which is a killer deal considering people are asking like $1,500 to $2,000 these days for those things. So, and then I need to repair this guy. So this is my cowl, and this cowl is brand new. I just need to clean it up. But it's in really good shape. These things are NLA now on FCP Euro. They say back ordered, but ECS shows they won't be in until March 2026. So that's pretty much an NLA for now. But the problem is it broke. Pulling it off. All these clips here, they broke off. I repaired it once. I'll repair it again. But yeah, I need to get that repaired so I can get that put back on because I need a cowl. All right. So I'm going to get back to work, and I'll come back with another update when I get more stuff done. Let me get my thoughts straight. It's been a while since I've done recording. But anyways, I'm working on the wagon. I'll get to some other stuff, but I wanted to make a quick video and show some progress of how I'm handling these side markers. So before on this car and on my red car, I had modified sedan side markers and cut out a hole to fit the M3 side marker blinkers, the light assemblies. And it looks okay. The red car looks okay, but it's not perfect, and it doesn't look like the M3 trim. It's good enough, but it doesn't really fool anybody who's like looking real hard. So I was doing the same thing for the wagon, and I did the same thing for the wagon. So I sent those trim pieces off to paint, and he painted them. But then during the 4 months that the car was down, I actually got a message from Attila, the same guy I got my carbon fiber fenders from, and he does a lot of other cool stuff. The M3 mirror base plates for the M3 mirrors that bolt to the sedan. So he sent me some M3 trim pieces that he had somebody 3D print up, and they look like the M3 trim pieces, but they're made to fit his fender specifically. And so I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here is the trim piece. And as you can see, it might not focus because of the reflection. There we go. So this one has the little dip down like the M3 style, and it's got the proper shape, but it's a lot shorter because the coupe one is a lot longer. I have one, but I don't want to grab it right now. The difference is on this, it has two little standoffs, and these standoffs are supposed to fit in here. Those two holes that are pre-existing. And those holes, I'm guessing they kept from the mold when they did the M3 and sedan fender conversion. But anyways, these are the same size as the rest of the trim pieces, so it's made to accept the little white clips that are made for these trim pieces with the little rubber grommets that press in there. However, even though those are made for it, no off-the-shelf trim piece fits it. His trim piece does fit it. This is for the other side, actually. But they're just standoffs, so they don't actually do anything. They're actually too small. So they're like almost like locating pins, but they don't hold it in place. And so when I was talking to him, he said that on his, he had fabricated some kind of screw, and he drilled a hole through here, and when he mounted it on, he kind of tightened it from behind by reaching his hand back here, and I didn't really like that idea. It's a pain in the butt. Wasn't super elegant, but if that works for him, good. So what I wanted to do is I came over here, and I have these trim pieces. I have bags of these brand new trim pieces, and these are the pieces that are meant to go in the fender, and they just clip in, and they fit. I already tested them. These fit in the hole in the carbon fiber fender. But what I wanted to do was, if you notice here, they're not going to fit on here. They just don't. They're not meant to accept it. So what I did was I took the one I'm working on one side now. I'm doing some work on it. I cut off the standoffs, and then here's a stock piece. I had to modify these by trimming off the little ledges on the sides, and then also trimming that middle center brace. And what you're left with is something like this. All right, there we go. So if you look here, I've trimmed quite a bit. And I trimmed that so that it could sit flat against the trim piece. Come on, focus. There we go. I want it to sit flat against the trim piece so that the trim will sit on the fender nice and flush. However, it still didn't fit right because I need to keep a lot of this center, that long center plastic brace. I need to keep that because that's what makes this strong. So what I did was I used a Dremel and I cut a channel out in the middle of this. And then I drilled out a circle where the standoff was so that I knew where the pin was. And that's where I know how to center this piece. So now I can actually set this piece in here, center it up, and then I'm going to trim this a little bit here. I don't really need this piece because you can see here, it'll still be hidden by the side marker, but I still want to trim it down some. But yeah, this is going to sit much more flush once I cut that piece off there. This piece I've already done. So I cut the channel on this one, get the piece on here, and for now, I've glued it in. I just used some super glue and a little water. And super glue with water made it really hard, really fast. I noticed that sometimes with super glue, it doesn't do anything. It will just take forever to dry. And spraying a little water on it helps speed up the catalyst reaction. Look at me, super smart. I think I saw it on a YouTube video. So anyways, so that, and then I also trimmed that corner piece so that it would fit a little bit better. So this piece is in, I've tested it, it locates just fine. And then once I put the rubber grommet on, like that, it'll snap in like it's supposed to, no problem. And once I get that one glued in, I'll test it that and I'll come back and I'll show an update. Alright, so I went ahead and I finished and installed the trim and then decided that I should take it back off so I can show you what it looks like. I got so excited that it fit so well. So yeah, anyways. Alright, so here we have the modified trim piece. I showed earlier that I modified that clip, shaved it down, cut a channel out so that it would fit, and I super glued it in. And I did the same thing over here, except I chopped off this side a little bit more. You can see it sits in that groove. Hopefully it focuses. So what we have now is a finished passenger side trim piece that is ready to be snapped on just like a factory piece. And super glue is pretty brittle in the fact that if I want to replace them, I have plenty of trim clips and I can always replace these by just breaking it loose and you know, putting new ones in. So these things generally don't break as long as you don't touch them. They don't break until way down the line. So anyways, so this is in, and then what I do is I put this little gasket on here. I'm sorry, not gasket, grommet. This grommet right here goes right there. They actually don't go all the way on like I thought they did. They go together. This fits in the hole and then this pushes into it, so you'll see once it goes in. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. Let's see if I can sit down. And then also I have my Dremel here. What I did was I fitted this on. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and fit this on. You can see it lines up with the holes. So then I'm going to just push it into place. Push this one into place. And as you can see, it fits and it's secure just like the factory trim piece. So that's on there. So then the next thing was M3 side markers. They have these spring clips right here, and they're made to fit into this little hole. Well, on the M3 Fender, the hole is cut out perfectly and it just fits in there, and it sits on these little edges right here of that lip. Well, that's not how it works on here, but thankfully I can use the pressure from this so that the inside lip of this, it's hard to see, there's a little raised lip on the very end here that sits in this channel in here, and it will stay in there, and it kind of locks in place, and then this spring will create the tension that holds this in, along with the plug, the harness plug that's behind here as well. But this wasn't fitting right because the fender hole was too small. So I took a Dremel and I just slowly cut away some of the carbon fiber little by little until I liked the pressure fit of this. So then what we're gonna do, all right, so the next thing we're gonna do is I'm going to reach in here and get this plug and kind of navigate it through the hole. Then plug it in. Got the direction right, and rotate it in, rotate it around. And then we're going to fit it in this channel here. As you can see, it fits in that groove. And once it fits in, see how it won't go anymore because of the spring clip going against the edge of the fender. Let's see if I can turn this around and show a little bit better. So right now it won't go all the way in because the spring clip is hitting the side. Come on. Just had it. Alright. So there we go. We're creating the tension. I'm going to go ahead and push this in. There it goes. So now I can't actually pull it back out. I need to actually, I probably could pull it out if I pulled really hard and pushed this way and then pulled out, but I don't want to. So I've been pushing it from behind to get it back out. But yeah, that is a good fit. I'm happy with that. And that went a lot smoother than I thought it would. So the trick now is to make sure that I mirror that exactly on the other side. So yeah, there's one fender trim done and another one to go. Another update, let's see, the last update we did was I showed all the gloss trim installed. I went ahead and installed the hood trim. Still haven't done the underneath yet. Went ahead and installed the grills, the emblem with new grommets, and I installed the spoiler. Oh yeah, and I also installed a new trunk badge. So that's installed, came with new double-sided sticky tape. But I got this all reassembled. This level. Got the clear the Euro clear brake light put in there. And one thing I did was I made sure I got everything nice and centered. All the gaps are good. One problem I was having that a lot of people have is when you open this hatch like this, the spoiler was actually hitting even after I did everything, and it actually created a mark in the spoiler, and that really bothered me. So I looked online and saw that there is a modification you can do, or not even a mod, it's repairing something that was there from the factory. I don't have the light here, but this is the hinge for the glass, and this is the other hinge for the glass. And it's really hard to see, but if you watch that hinge, see that little light colored material right there? That is a 1/8 thick gasket foam pad that I stuck in there, because from the factory there is a foam pad that sits there. It's called a stopper, and it's made to stop this from going all the way back and hitting the roof. And over time it deteriorates or becomes missing, and so you can't see it now. Oh, you can't. This one here. That's all the way open and it's not touching. Before it was touching and it was creating a mark on the spoiler. So that is fixed. I went ahead and installed one piece here, and I put another one in there, and I have extra material, so if it falls out later I can always do that. So to finish this off, I need to install this rear piece here. Of course, like all tourings, they're always broken, so I'll use my mix of double sticky tape to put that piece back on and finish this rear area up. So yeah, progress is good. We're getting there. And I do need to do some cleaning of the interior. Interior definitely needs to be cleaned up. It's still dirty, but at least I got all the door panels in, all the door seals in. Everything on the interior is put back together, so I'm excited about that. Got the mirror in, and I'm so happy about this infrared windshield. So now I have a matching one for this car. All right, so I'm gonna call it a night, and it's all gonna be one video, but I'll be back tomorrow and we'll have another update with more stuff done. All right, back bright and early at the end of the day. So anyways, last night I did the passenger side fender trim. I was super proud of that. I was ready to start on the driver's side. Totally forgot I don't even have that fender here. That fender's still at the paint shop. So I can't do anything with that one right now because I don't want to cut and do any kind of test fitting without having the fender here, just in case the holes are slightly off or a little bit different from left to right. Not everything's always perfect like that with molds when parts are made. So I'll just wait and hold off. And so what I want to do is I wanted to get the carbon fiber strut bar installed. So I have this one on my red car, and I got this a long time ago, and I always wanted to get a matching one for that car, and finally one popped up. I think I paid, like, for this one right around $800 or $900 about 6 years ago, and then they crept up in price to like $2,000. But then I picked up this one, sorry, not that one, this one for $800 on Facebook Marketplace local. I just got really lucky. The guy had it posted for like $2,000 and it wasn't selling, so I offered him like $8,000 and he took it. So we are going to get this thing installed, and to do that it takes a little bit of extra prep work. So I went ahead and already did that. One of the things you have to do to modify this is you have to turn this battery terminal around. Normally on the e46 the battery terminal is over here, and so to do this conversion, to make this fit, you have to swap it, flip it around, and as you can see here, it still fits in the channel right here. There's a little uptick right here. I could cut that off if I want to, but you don't have to because this piece still fits over it. But all I did was I flipped it around, and instead of this starter cable attaching to the top part, it just attaches to the bottom part right here. So, and then the same thing, the body harness coming from the fuse box comes through here. Instead of going to here, it just goes to here. The only thing is part of the terminal sticks out a little bit from this casing, so I covered it in electrical tape so nothing ever like arcs out on it. It's just two little fingers. Better to be safe than sorry. So I got that all done, taken care of. Had to do a little drummeling and trimming of this housing here, and there's a piece that mounts over here that had to get cut off. It's normally attached to this hole right here, but I went ahead and cut that piece off right here. You can see there's some marks right there where I sanded it down after I cut the bracket off. and that's so that this can fit. So now this is on. This on. Okay. And we are ready to take that thing off. So let's go ahead and flip this around. Not on me. I'm going to set the camera up here and pull it down here. I went ahead and loosen up all the bolts. So this thing is ready to come off now. So go ahead and pull the stock one off. This one's actually in really good shape, so I'll keep this as a spare. Camera. That looks a lot better and cooler with the carbon fiber air box. It'll look a lot better once this whole engine bay is put back together and cleaned up. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna get ready. The kids are almost here from daycare. I gotta cook dinner, and then I'll be back with the next one. Okay, I am back. I don't know where we are in the timeline for things. I look back at some previous video clips on my Osmo Pocket 3, and I think I was blabbing about a strut bar and some fender trim. So we'll go with that. Strut bar is on, fender trim is done. Today, I'm just taking a few minutes to put the headlights in because I need to drive this car to get emissions done. Emissions here in Georgia is done on your birthday. Well, this car was in the paint shop since April and didn't get finished till September. So that means I missed my birthday, so I didn't get emissions done, and my tag is expired. So I need to go ahead and get this emissions done. And so what we've done here is, let me rotate this around. So I always hoard DMEs. I got a lot of here. This one is for a friend that I converted to a CSL. I converted this from an MS54 to an HP. Love my HP signal right there. So this is for my friend. Then I have these extra DMEs right here this one is an HP DME, a real one. This one had a bunch of broken pins in it. And so I desoldered this whole black pin header from the board. And I stole one from another bad DME and soldered it back onto here. And so this one, I had this one done and the one that's in that car currently done. And I used yesterday to check them to make sure that they would actually work with no check engine lights. The engine ran and anything like that. And they did just fine. Then I have this DME right here. This one is the one out of my Wagon. This one actually has the H bridge for running the flap control. That's an extra additional work that I did on this one. And this is the one out of my car. But converted DMEs do not pass emissions. For some reason, when you convert them, there's just something that gets done and it causes emission readiness monitors to never show available or ready. But beyond that, everything runs perfect with them. No check engine lights or anything like that. So if I want to pass emissions, I took one of these extra HP DMEs and I flashed a regular CSL file on it and I put it in my car So I want to pass emissions. I'm going to check the readiness monitors and make sure they're okay, and then get that done. And then I'll put my DME back in once that is all said and done. Here, I'm just cleaning up the headlights. A lot of body shop dust on them. So I was using some simple green and a rag and just cleaning them all up. I want to go ahead and get them installed so I can at least drive this car to the emissions shop. So I'll get that installed there. And then I'm not going to install the front bumper for now. I'll leave it alone. But yeah, I will be back when I get the headlights put in. And just like that, headlights are in. They went in pretty smoothly. I put some marks on the headlights to make it easier to line back up. Let's take a look. All right. Got the corner lights back in. And these are aftermarket. These are depot corner lights until I get a good deal on some original ones. I have some original ones from somebody, but they're a little faded. But most importantly, though, they're missing the plastic gasket that goes around it. So there's that. So yeah, so headlight is in here. This one is in. Corner lights in. The lower headlight trim is in. I'm sure all this stuff will have to come back out when I go to start to fit the bumper back on. But at least I can drive this thing now without fear of getting pulled over for no headlights. Everything's plugged back in. We got my yellow marks I made to line them back up. I'll clean those up later to get rid of them. Let's take a look at the headlight, the hood fitment. Pretty good. Wish I had my fender done. The painter's still working on that. But yeah, that's pretty good fitment on the headlight right there. Same thing over here. One thing I always look for is this gap right here. This hood should be in line with this bottom piece right here. Not too far forward, not too far back. And then that gap right there should be a line up with the headlight. One thing I wish I had was the original all chrome grills. These grills are from the 330, which is chrome around the outside and then just black on the inside. My red car has all chrome. Well, unfortunately, as with e46 stuff, one side is NLA and the other one is available. I should probably just buy the one side that's available now in case it goes NLA. That's another story for another day. All right, well, I'm going to get this car started so I can go get emissions done and then go to my friend's house and help him work on his M Coupe that we did an S54 on. Maybe I'll do another video on that. But this is the DME for that one. I took an Evergreen 1999 Z3 M Coupe that had an S52 5-speed, and we did an S54 in it from a Roadster. But we did a lot of work. I'll explain it in another video, but it's getting close. All right, till next time, I'll have another update, and then I can finally release this video. All right, and we're back. Probably the same video, but a lot has happened. It's now nighttime, and brief overview of what we got done with the car is we've got the side skirts on, we got all the black trim on, headlights got put back on, interior got put back together, car still needs to be washed. But the only thing I was really waiting for was the fender and the sunroof that had to get painted. And so I finally got those done and got those picked up today. So let's take a look. I've just put the fender on. I haven't actually bolted it on yet. I just kind of put it there because I didn't have any good spot to lay it down. Let's take a look here. But here is the fender. So I've got it put back on just in place. It's not fitted or anything. It's literally just sitting there. But I went ahead and just tucked it into the front headlight trim piece, took the corner light out, tucked in the wheel arch, inner arch piece, fender liner, that's what it's called. So I got the fender liner tucked in there. I've got all my bolts, all my painted bolts that were done originally. So I got all those done and the rest of the hardware that goes to it. So I'm excited to go ahead and get this perfect on. I'll do a little bit tonight and then I'll finish up tomorrow when I get some more sleep. And here we have the sunroof. So this is the sunroof, painted, the color of the car. Painter taped off the sunroof seal. I'll have to go around once the paint finishes curing, because I don't want to get anything abrasive chemical-wise in there. But I definitely want to clean up the seal. It's got some marks on it and some overspray that I want to clean up. But overall, really cool. I don't know how long this is going to last. It's more of an experiment. So it was just something I wanted to try. I still have my original glass sunroof here. I just had a spare one from my red car. When I went carbon fiber roof, I saved that glass. So I have this one still. And if anything happens with the paint on that, like, who knows what's going to happen? It could be okay. It could start flaking and peeling off at the edges here. I don't know how reliable this is going to be. You know, I've never done it before. It looks cool. So we'll see how it goes. If anything happens to it though, then I'll just switch back to this glass one and it'll be okay. Maybe I'll get a few pictures with it and call it a day. But yeah, so basically all I want to do now is I want to get this fender fitted, bolted on, make sure the hood lines up like it's supposed to. I have all my original marks right here for lining up the bolts. So I'll use that as a guide first, and if it works, great. If not, no big deal. I'll just fit it a little bit better. And then once that's done, hopefully I can get the front bumper fitted on. And once I get the front bumper fitted on, I'll get this on. And hopefully I can get this thing driving like it's supposed to be by Friday. That'll be fun. And then this is the week of Petit Le Mans up here in Georgia. So I'm going to take my red car out to the races, and I got an entry into the paddock so I can park my car with the Cars and Bids group. So I'm going to get this all washed up and cleaned up and take it out there and show it off and have fun watching the races. I may drive this one up Friday just to drive around, and Saturday is the day that the races will be where I park my car there. So that will be fun. So I will bring an update with doing some more stuff, but I just wanted to come back and make sure I put more progress in this video with the parts coming in. So we'll be back. All right. Figure I'd just go ahead and record a little footage of swapping out the sunroof panel. I wanted to go ahead and get that done tonight. Changed my mind. The fender can wait till tomorrow. Requires a little bit more effort. But I've gone ahead and already loosened up the inner bolts or screws that hold this in. There's 6 of them, 3 on this side, 3 on that side. We'll go ahead and lift this out. And then once this is out, I'll try to put the new one in. I want to keep this safe. Oh. Okay. So I just wanted to clean up the edges of the glass just a little bit, stuff that wasn't going to be able to be touched once it's in. So I've got all that cleaned up now. So got this glass piece. Looks like that's the rear. So we gotta look at that. Color of the car. So actually, let me see here. Let's try this again. See if I can open up this door. Is it going the inside, the outside? I can't remember. All right, let's take a look. Whoa. Yeah, so that's exactly how I thought it would look. It looks like a painted sunroof, and I kind of like it. I dig it for now. We'll see how long it lasts. If it starts deteriorating or getting terrible, then I'll go back to the glass roof. But I like it. It's different. It makes the roof look more all one color instead of broken up by just the sunroof, kind of like a slick top, but unfortunately not a slick top. If you know, you know. But we'll take a look at that, and let's see how this looks. Let's close this guy. That actually looks pretty cool. Put this in for now. Yeah, I can definitely dig that. I like that. Kind of reminds me of the E30 or E36 days. I think E36s and E34s had the painted metal sunroof inserts. But pretty cool. I like it. I won't spend too much time on that. I'm gonna call it a night, and then I'll be back in the morning. All right, back to it. So yesterday or last night, I put in the sunroof, the painted sunroof. Today, I wanted to get started on the fender. I had placed it in. I did some more fitment. I think it's exactly where I want it to be. Let's take a look here. All right, so I've got the wheel off and the car jacked up so that I could get access to the splash shield, so that I could get to the two bolts that hold it on, one here and one here. And when my paint guy repainted this, I told him to preserve the witness marks where the old bolts were, so that I kind of had a good frame of where this was going to fit, and it pretty much went back to where it was supposed to be. Initially, I had tightened all these up and checked my gap here on the hood, but then it caused me not to be able to get the gap better down there. It was a big gap down here and a little gap up here. So then I went ahead and loosened all of these back up just so there was some wiggle room. And then I came down here and I pushed this back. It's not going to be perfect initially because it's carbon fiber and it's a mold. It's made from a mold, but there's a bracket here, that is on the chassis, and then there's a bracket here, and then so I pulled this back as far as I could without breaking it, and then I put a bolt through. I put the I use an extension to come all the way through here to the splash shield area, and as I tightened it, it closed this gap. So the gap was much better going all the way through, and I was happy with that. The main gaps I'm worried about are this gap and this gap, and then of course the gap right here when the hood is closed, which we'll take a look at in a second. So I got all that tightened up, and then went ahead and snugged these up, but not too tight, and then I closed the hood and made sure everything was good, which we'll do right now. So I would say that gap is pretty good. It's a little bit bigger on this end right here than I'd like. It's just a hair bigger than on the other side. But if I tighten this up more, it will also tighten it up here in the middle, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm happy with that. It matches the other side 95%. So I'm happy with that. I'm not going to play around with it too much. I got that gap there. We'll take a look over here. Matches pretty similar to that. It's a little bit closer here, which I wish the other side would be, but that's okay. That's all right. Whoa. All right, so, I got all that bolted on, and next thing I'm gonna work on before I get to the front bumper is I'm gonna put the wheel back on, and I'm gonna work on what I did with the other side before, which was the side marker light, trimming it a little bit here and getting those brackets installed. So we'll work on that, and I will be back when I show that. I wanna get that installed, get this back installed, get the front bumper installed, and then hopefully be done with this thing. Hey guys, we're back again. This is the day Friday, and I'm supposed to be going to Petit Le Mans today, and I'm going to be taking the Wagon just to drive there on Friday, and then on Saturday I'm going to be taking this car to put with the Cars and Bids group. But anyways, for this part we're going to do the reveal. The car is somewhat finished. Front bumper is on, fender's on, all the exterior pieces are on. And I washed it, so it looks so good. I'm super excited. So let's go ahead and take a look. The suspense is killing me. Oh, that's not what you want. That's what you want. Oh. So here we go. After a couple years, we finally have gotten here. I've got my polarizer on this DJ Osmo. It's not a great one. It still has reflections no matter which way I rotate it, but it definitely helps bring that color out a little bit. It's much more blue than purple on camera. The camera still makes it look a little bit more purple than what it really is. But honestly, it looks very similar to Interlagos and some angles. But yeah, I'm stoked. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's get a different angle here. Okay, reset this gimbal. There we go. It looks so good. I'm very excited about this. There's no scratches, no swirl marks. Paint looks good and fresh. This is probably one of my favorite angles right here. Right about there. I don't know why, but something about that angle just really kicks butt. Let's get a little bit closer here to this paint. Let's take a look at the inside. I just finished vacuuming it and wiping down the seats. They were covered in body shop dust. I'm gonna try to wrap this up just because I want to get over to Petite before it gets too crazy. It's already like 12 something. All the gloss black trim. Let's see if I can rotate the CPL a little bit. There we go. Red interiors pop in. Oh yeah, you take a look at decals in this one. M3T. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and make this the end of this video. This was, for me, a pretty long one. For you guys, it'll probably be pretty short. But anyways, super excited about the car. Let me know what you guys think. Does it look as good as what you guys thought it would? Does it look like all the other e46 M3 Tourings that are currently out there? There's quite a few of them out there now. But I have not seen a bunch of these. I know there's a few out there, but not as many as these. All right, guys, thanks. It was fun, and I'll be doing more videos on other stuff that I do with these cars. But for now, this one is done, and hopefully I can do some rolling videos and some other cool videos of this, and hopefully get this car, that car, and that one together for a photo shoot and rolling on the road together too. I think that would be pretty awesome. All right, thanks, guys, and we will see you in the next one.